Welcome back. You're at session 4 already. You're nearly halfway. Smashing this. So let's have a look at what we learned previous. So we know that know, like, and trust need to be present in order for us to give and receive referrals in the world of networking and just general life. So know, like, and trust need to be present. If you take one of them away, the whole thing's going to collapse. So to start off with, we're going to look at know, because people can know you and not like and trust you, but they can't like and trust you if they don't know you. So it's only logical that we start with know, and you guys, you're a clever bunch. I know you'll know what I'm talking about. So we're going to start with looking at know. And that's where networking comes in. So we go networking, we go to events and we network online so that we can build new relationships and people can get to know us. So during this session, we're going to have a look at the different formats that are available. So we're going to look at event formats in regards to in-person events. We're also going to look at remote digital events. So you can be networking from anywhere in the world with anyone in the world from the comfort of your own home. And we're also going to have a look at finding the right events for you, because sometimes it can be really difficult to know which ones are going to be the best events to attend. So we're going to start thinking a bit strategically and look at which ones are going to be the right ones for you. So let's kick off and look at networking event formats in regards to in-person events. So this is the scale of networking, and we're starting from structured all the way through to formal, because there's a lot of different networking formats that are available. So it's important to know that what the differences are, and then you can start thinking about which are going to be the right ones for you. So at the very far end, we've got a network called BNI, which stands for Business Network International, and it's probably the biggest network in the world. It's a franchise that was founded in America a number of years ago, and they've got thousands and thousands of members. But they run on a very specific format. And there's a lot of different variations on this, on BNI. There's a lot of other networking groups out there that have got a similar format and structure. But BNI is probably the most well-known, so it's just a good one as an example to use. And then the other ones will fit into it. So how BNI works is that they have groups or chapters, they call them. They've got them all over the world, all over the country. So for example, when I was in full-time networker in Liverpool, they had like 42 chapters just in the city centre. So each chapter is its own group, and each group is only allowed one member from each industry. So if you're a graphic designer, you will be the only graphic designer in your chapter. And that's one of the things that you pay for. It's quite expensive, BNI, but you're paying for the fact that you're the only person in your industry that goes to that group. You meet with the same people every week, so it's a weekly event that usually starts quite early, so like 6:37 in the morning. So the idea is that you can go networking and get business done before anyone else is even at the office. So it tends to attract more men than women, because women traditionally have got the responsibility of doing the school run, but they are starting to introduce more lunchtime and brunch time events as well. But historically, it's always been an early morning start. And with BNI, it's very structured. So it's the same people at the same location that you'll see every single week. And it's the same arrival time. You'll usually have tea and coffee on arrival, and then get some breakfast and sit down around a table. And it's in a structured meeting format. So there'll be someone leading the meeting, and that person will go through minutes or make any announcements that need to be made. And then everyone around the table will have the opportunity to stand up and deliver their 60-second pitch, or their elevator pitch. And the idea of the elevator pitch is that you walk into an elevator. I think it was originally with Donald Trump, the whole thing was, but it could be any business person really. You walk in, or it could be, an academic or someone that you want to pitch your funding, someone giving funding, someone that you want to pitch and work with, pitch your ideas to or your work to. So you walk into an elevator, and you've got the time from when the doors close to it goes up to their floor and they get out, in order to tell them who you are, what you do, and why they should work with you, kind of thing. And I know you guys are doing some work on pitching, so you'll have that nailed. So everyone around the table gets the chance to stand up and deliver that elevator pitch, and they've got exactly 60 seconds to do that, or an alarm will go off, or the floor will set on fire or something. And then while people are delivering their 60-second pitches, everyone else in the room will listen, and within the pitch, someone will usually say, I'm looking to meet florists, as an example. And anyone around the room who knows a florist will fill in a little slip, or sometimes now it's done digitally via their app. And they'll make a note of the name of the florist that they know, and then that introduction will be passed between them. So it's a way of getting and receiving a lot of referrals from people that you see every week. So you build relationships with really quickly. And the idea is they become an extension of your sales team. So they're out going to other events and bringing back new referrals every week. And that's how it works. So it works better for some people than others. Some people love that structure. Some people hate it. But it's a Marmite kind of networking event, but it is the most structured that you'll come across, and it's worth going to and experiencing one, and just seeing what happens at the events, and you'll meet a room full of different people who have got different experience that you can potentially get to know and learn from. So that's BNI at the one end of the scale. Moving down the scale to still structured but slightly less, we've got speed networking, which kind of explains itself. It's similar, it's just what you'd expect speed dating to be, but networking. So you'll go to a speed networking event and you'll sit down and you'll get to meet one person, and you'll have maybe 3 minutes or 5 minutes depending. 1 minute to maybe 1 minute each, so maybe 2 minutes. But anyway, you'll have a couple of minutes with each person, and then you'll swap and you'll meet someone else, and then you'll swap and then you'll meet someone else, and then that's how the event goes. And then usually at the end there'll be a little opportunity to have a mingle and network over a coffee. But yeah, it's a great way of meeting a lot of people in a short space of time, but then you can continue those conversations after. So that's speed networking. Moving along the scale, we've next got awards. And awards and dinners, I'll be talking about later on in more detail, but essentially awards have got, again, a structure to the evening. They'll slightly differ, but they tend to run on the same format. So there's drinks on arrival, and then there's a dinner, sit-down meal, and then there's the focal point of the evening, which is either the awards or the charity or whatever it is, the showcase, and then there'll be a little bit more at the end of networking and potentially like a band or some dancing or something like that. But we're going to be looking at awards and dinners in detail, a bit more detail later on, so I'll leave that one for now. Conferences we're going to be covering in detail as well, because I think that's going to be a really important one for you guys. So with conferences, again, there's structure in that, and there's a topic, which is fantastic for being strategic, but there are elements of more informal forms of networking within conferences as well. So we're going to have a look at those in more detail later on. And then the coffee and the drinks, the most informal kind of networking you can come across. You just tend to turn up. It's set between a certain time, so between say 8 and 10 a.m. You can come and go as you please. There's a coffee station, or sometimes you buy your own coffee, and it's just an informal way of mixing and mingling. Drinks is slightly more informal because it's on an evening and there's alcohol involved, so people tend to relax even further. So it tends to be even more informal. Those are a great way of building relationships and just getting to know people. So evening drinks is going to be the more relaxed, informal style networking. And it's just finding what works for you. Some people hate that just come and have a chat, mix and mingle networking, and they need the structure, whereas other people are the other way around. And we're going to find out which one is best suited to you a little later on. Woo! So they're the event formats that are available in person. Now let's have a look at what digital event formats are available. So we're going to be covering 3 different digital events. We're going to look at networking events, so events that are just purely all about networking. We're going to look at remote seminars, which I think is going to be great for yourselves. And then Twitter hours, so hashtag hours, which are online Twitter networking events. So let's start by having a look at purely networking events. So within a networking event, when you're going to one digitally, you tend to have something that I call one-to-one networking roulette, which sounds a bit terrifying, but it's not, I promise. And you'll be given the choice whether or not to participate in this, either by whatever networking platform that you're on. You'll be able to choose to go into a networking area, which if you click to go in, the platform will then match you with another delegate that's also chosen to go in. So then you'll get the chance to have that one-to-one hello, nice to meet you, via your computer. It's magical, this technology malarkey, I tell you. So those ones are literally up to chance. So it's a great way to meet just random people, and it's very serendipitous. They tend to be timed, so you usually only have either 3, 5, 7, maybe tops minutes in order to have a chat. So it's not like you're going to be stuck having this one-to-one for potentially an hour, because then you just want to close the computer and run away. So the platform tends to give you a limited amount of time, and then you'll either be matched with another person or you'll be given the option to leave that area of the networking platform. So that's a really good way of meeting new people. Sometimes the host of the networking event will put you in a room and match you with another delegate, and you'll be able to have a one-to-one that way. So they're slightly different. One's totally left up to chance. The other one's in a bit more control because the host of the event will be able able to match you. So that's one-to-one networking roulette. You'll also potentially within a networking event digitally be put into a group of 3 or 4. This is usually done by the host, but again, it could be done by the platform. It depends on whoever's organising the networking event. And similarly to the one-to-one roulette, you'll be put in a digital separate area where you'll get the chance to have a chat with 2 or 3 or 4 other people rather than, so it becomes a small group rather than just a one-to-one, which adds a different dynamic. You more and often than not be maybe given a topic of discussion or deliver your 60-second pitch and get a chance to know each other in a smaller group setting digitally. Again, there'll be a limited amount of time to these, so you're not going to be stuck in a digital room. So that's digital networking events. The remote seminars are a bit more interesting. So these have got a focus point to them. So there's usually a speaker or a panel discussion, and you know what the topic's going to be before you arrive, because obviously you've booked on to attend, so it's got to be of interest to you. And there'll be what I call a networking sandwich. So when you arrive at a digital seminar, you'll have the opportunity to network with the delegates at the beginning. You'll then have the middle of the sandwich, the fill-in, which is the seminar or the panel discussion. And then at the end, there's going to be an opportunity to network again at the end. So that's a great way of really getting more value from your time, because you're getting the networking opportunity as well as accessing some additional information or knowledge transfer in the form of a seminar or a panel discussion. So that's a really useful one. And then also the Q&A section, I think that's really underutilized by people. So when it comes to networking remotely, there's always going to be a Q&A usually section, especially within a panel discussion. So the Q&A section is another great additional opportunity to introduce yourself to everyone there, as well as networking with the speakers by putting a question to them. So yeah, there you go. And finally, Twitter hours. So hashtag hours are networking events that happen on Twitter. So they're live events that happen on Twitter using a specific hashtag. They tend to be topic or location specific. So if you were interested in manufacturing, for example, there's potentially going to be a hashtag manufacturing hour on Twitter where you can go use that hashtag within your tweet, and you can then engage with other people that are doing the same thing at the same time. So again, it's a great way of engaging with people who are based in a specific area or have a specific topic interest. And they become a fantastic resource because Twitter's open. It means that you can search that hashtag and all the historical tweets of people that have used it will then come up. So you're able to see the types of people that are engaging on those Twitter hours, who's using them. You can have a little look and profile people that you might want to chat with. And it's a great way of accessing all this information from past events. Plus they're free to attend and they're consistent, they're regular, it's every week. So it's a great way to start engaging with and finding additional people who have got the same interests as you or are based in certain geographic locations. So they're the Twitter hours. For more information on Twitter within the world of academia, take a look at the resource section and there's a link to some further information there.